U.S. pursues sale of over $2 billion in weapons to Taiwan, sources say, in test for China. Washington. Reuters. The United States is pursuing the sale of more than $2 billion worth of tanks and weapons to Taiwan, 4 people familiar with the negotiations said, in a move likely to anger China as a trade war between the world's 2 biggest economies escalates. An informal notification of the proposed sale has been sent to the U.S. Congress, the 4 sources said, on condition of anonymity because they were not authorized to speak about the possible deal. The potential sale included 108 General Dynamics Corp M1A2 Abrams tanks worth around $2 billion as well as anti-tank and anti-aircraft munitions, 3 of the sources said. Taiwan has been. The United States is the main arms supplier to Taiwan, which China deems its own and has never renounced the use of force to bring the self-ruled island under its control. Taiwanese President Tsai Ing-wen said in March the United States was responding positively to Taipei's requests for new arms sales to bolster its defenses in the face of pressure from China. The United States, China, and the United States are engaged in a fierce trade war, with clashes over Taiwan and the South China Sea exacerbating tensions. A spokesman for the State Department, which oversees foreign military sales, said the U.S. government does not comment on or confirm potential or pending arms sales or transfers before they have been formally notified to Congress. The congressional notifications included a variety of anti-tank munitions, including 409 Raytheon County and Lockheed Martin Corp-made Javelin missiles worth as much as $129 million, 2 of the sources said. The notifications also included 1,240 TOW anti-tank missiles worth as much as $299 million, 1 of the sources said. There were also Stingers are often used in portable anti-aircraft weapons systems. Taiwan's defense ministry confirmed it had requested those weapons and that the request was proceeding normally. The U.S. commitment to providing Taiwan with the weapons to defend itself helps Taiwan's military to raise its combat abilities, consolidates the Taiwan-U.S. security partnership and ensures Taiwan's security, the ministry said in a statement. There was no immediate response from Beijing. U.S. President Donald Trump's administration rolled out a long-awaited overhaul of U.S. arms export policy in 2018 aimed at expanding sales to allies, saying it would bolster the American defense industry and create jobs at home. Trump's trade advisor Peter Navarro was one of the administration's architects of that policy. Navarro, at a low point, the U.S. Army had only 1 tank coming from the plant a month, General Dynamics CEO Phoebe Novakovic said during an April conference call with investors, but said well. The Pentagon announced last week it would sell 34 Scan Eagle drones, made by Boeing Co., to the governments of Malaysia, Indonesia, the Philippines, and Vietnam for $47 million. The drones would afford greater intelligence gathering capabilities, potentially curbing Chinese activity in the region. China claims almost all of the strategic South China Sea and frequently lambastes the United States and its allies over naval operations near Chinese-occupied islands. Brunei, Indonesia. China's Defense Minister Wei Fenghe warned the United States at the Shangri-La Dialogue in Singapore last weekend not to meddle in security disputes over Taiwan and the South China Sea. Acting U.S. Defense Secretary Patrick Shanahan told the meeting that the United States would no longer tiptoe around China's behavior in Asia. Reporting by Mike Stone and Patricia Zengerle. Additional report.
Raindrop, drop top smoking, no cooking the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Looking up, open the park pot.